a minute of silence for truth, for the truth, as per usual. Good evening, bonsoir, boa noite, buenos noches, guten Nacht. Bienvenue, welcome to another episode. I'm going to settle in. We definitely had to kick in. We definitely had to kick in with a little minute of silence. I think it's been a while since I've done a solid minute of silence for the truth, but we're going to get into some truth stuff today. While I set up, I will have you listen to...
It would ruin my whole life.
A little visual, audio.
Just
We're going to get into some good stuff today, okay?
Or that I'm incapable of caring or loving because I can't.
Begin by...
If I'm totally honest with myself.
Be honest with yourself.
I think...
Always be honest with yourself. Let me give you some advice. I don't give it often. Be honest with yourself. Can I give you a kiss now? Is that okay? I'm going to give you a kiss. You are my friend. I can kiss you. I'll tell a funny story about the kissing thing.
I think I'd rather die knowing that I was really good at something. That I had excelled in some way. And that I'd just been in a nice, caring relationship.
Yeah. But I had worked for this older man, and once he told me that he had spent all of his life thinking about his career and his work, and he was 52, and it suddenly struck him that he had never really given anything of himself. His life was for no one and nothing. He was almost crying saying that. You know, I believe if there's any kind of God, it wouldn't be in any of us. Not you or me, but just this little space in between. If there's any kind of magic in this world, it must be in the attempt of understanding someone, sharing something. I know, it's almost impossible to succeed, but who cares, really? The answer must be in the attempt. This is no more bubbles,
and I'm staring outside.
I don't remember.
Yes, the answer is always in the attempt. It's been a while since I've worn my hi-hat, so I feel it's time to get back on my high horse. I finally took a picture of all the art in the art house. Correction, not all but one room in which I did not take them. So I'm going to go through those in a slideshow. I thought I'd start by showing my face a little bit. It's been a while, I know. Or has it? Has it? I guess it hasn't. But it has. But it hasn't. Anyways. Got back from the mediation this evening. And so the result of the mediation is neither here nor there because there's no result. It's to be continued, as life always is. Life is a constant mediation between you and yourself and the world around you and yourself, ultimately. Constantly mediating. But on a legal basis, if it were to get to the nitty-gritty details on the financial aspect, let's say, which is not my case whatsoever, but let's say in the case of a man and a woman really hating each other and wanting to have malicious intent for the other person, where do they go for? They go for the money. So I know many stories of this thing called child support. Yes, it's a real thing. I will never have that problem because it's a no-brainer that obviously I'm going to care for my child. For me, it's like, okay. with or without the mother, together or not, it's my duty. And it's like, what am I going to fight so I don't have to? Anyways, but when it gets to legalities now, if it were to get to that, well, then it all depends on how much the individual makes. So I've heard of stories where the woman pays the man child support. Now that's fucked up. We both agree I would never take $1 or want to take $1 from her. But ultimately, that's what would happen. So if this were to go legal, guess who's going to get paid? Ironically enough, eh? Get paid. Please, forget about it. Anyways, and we both conclude, in retrospect, that there is nothing positive that can come out of the government's interference between two people and how they raise a child. It has to be amicably agreed upon between the individuals. And I always said, it's best to be friends, and it's like you can have the best friend and you realize you're just not compatible, right? For whatever reason. But there has to be friendship. You cannot have any hate for the mother of your child. I would never. Like, you know. And I even told a buddy of mine, I said, I know, you want to hire someone to whack her. Not my mother, not the mother of my child, but the mother of his child that basically is taking him, you know, took the house, took the car, took the like let's just say we're 30K deep in lawyer fees so far. So he tells me one day in his drug, he's like, fuck, it'd probably be cheaper for me to just hire somebody. I said, listen, you're not allowed to say that. You cannot will harm on the mother of your child. No matter how bad anything is, no matter how malicious or evil they were to you, you are just not allowed. You know? Will no harm. Do no harm, will no harm. I got through that hate shit and grudge shit that people hold on. You know, and I've witnessed it. A dear uncle of mine went 18 years of half, as Eddie put it, half, out of spite, out of intent to harm, to teach the other a lesson, and that's unacceptable. That is unacceptable. So that would never happen, because ultimately it's not the point. But as for anything else, well, hey, I've accepted to put my pride aside, and the door is always open, ultimately. Has to be for the benefit of. Because there's no way around it. Do your thing, you take your time apart, but eventually, you got no choice. You got to get back together for the child. Wishful thinking. Hey, the truth is better than not confessing it to the ethernet, to the universe, you know? Will it more than anything else, naturally, if it's not met with resistance. But myself, I stopped resisting. Exactly. You just got to do what you got to do. Focus your energy. So I'm loving it. Bachelorism, seeing somebody sort of, building a relationship, you know? Hi, sweetheart. Hello. It's a funny one. I can't really talk about it here, so just this one's off the table. For multiple reasons, I'm not allowed. So, without further ado, we're going to get into the meat and potatoes. This is my intro. I think 10 minutes and 17 seconds is good. Maybe a little bit of music. Anymore. A little bit of music to 11:11. Then we're going to get into the art house video breakdown of the photos. I have it all prepped. It's going to be a screen capture. Closer. That's right. We come here for the beats. So, I'm gonna eat my pecan pie and I talk about the art. See you in a bit. So like I said, yes, I'm eating my pecan pie now, and I've almost finished it, completed it. The tunes are where we left them off, so we'll bring those back. At least you have something in the background. So, welcome to the art house. And what am I gonna do here? Boom. Bob Dylan, okay. Bob Dylan. Okay. Mother. That's an interesting one. Okay. So, let's do a little slideshow. It's gonna be a nice array of 5 seconds. Is that long enough for each photo? There is 82 individual photographs. Yes, I will talk about that. So I think that's enough. Random, shuffle, yep, okay. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the art house. Yes. And I'll tell you a little story about how it came to be. A year ago, in fact, the mother of my child and I separated, and she said, established 1983, this is before established 1983 was born, but let's just say, established 1983, we're not compatible, I've had enough, I'm moving out. I said, okay, well, I agree, fair enough. What are my options? Well, get a roommate, no, too old for that. Move, no, middle of winter, can't do that. Third option, turn it into an Airbnb empire. Well, it's one, but whatever. Like my Tiffany style lamp in the kitchen? That is beauty. So, fast forward a year, and a year later, here I am now saying it's a sustainable business called the Art House. It pays for itself and then some. And about a month or two ago, I officially was able to gather up all the individual pieces of original art that I had. That, by the way, is by an artist by the name of Lady Ames, one of my favorite. That is the Femme Fatale di Genova. Lots of good stuff. Anyways, so when people stay at my Airbnb, they will be able to feast their eyes on over, and I've counted, 80 original pieces of art. Original. Even that plate is an original piece of art. It's a piece of kintsugi. Okay? I've done videos about kintsugi. You can check it out. That is actually one of the few that is not an original but is a print. Rikki Tikki Tango. So you keep seeing this Stay Beautiful. And what it is, it's a street artist in Montreal that posts these wheat pastes all over the place, big in St. Henry. And any opportunity that I got to extract this artist's work off the walls and keep it, I did. So I currently have 3, that's a good one. I currently have 3 What is Beauty extractions that Leslie Boris, under the direction of, came ahead and, as you see right there, Lesbor, long live Lesbor, came ahead. This is the scale that I was talking about. So originally that thing was $440, Shots Almanac and Waiting for Godot in the bathroom. This is next level stuff I'll talk about another time. So So many things. Oh, long live Mondo Grill. What was I talking about? I got distracted. Anyways, that is a hand embroidered signature. Yes. Just the signature alone is probably 20, 30 hours. I like to take my time. I'll shut up for a bit and we'll just look at some art. That is a hand-embroidered tapestry from Myanmar. The birds, the birds, the birds. So, yeah, I went through, there's the Leslie Boris Major Arcana series. This is actually one of my very first War of the Roses, which was a 4-piece. Right, that's the other 3. And I didn't realize it at the time that is from a series called 1000. That is my absolute masterpiece thus far. So we'll go one by one. So the birds and the bees and the dinosaur. The birds and the bees and the scorpion and the dinosaur. That's what it's called. Boom. And it's basically the meaning of life in a painting, ultimately. So I don't really feel like breaking it down at this very moment, but what I'll do is I'll zoom in on it. I'll put some tunes back on and we'll go slowly. We'll start. Oh, okay. So this is this. Let's just take a look at what I did. Huh. Nice, okay. Where was I? Alright, so I'll start at the beginning and we'll just start there. That's a great. Just a couple of really nice compositions here. Look at that. That's lovely. So that's the big kahuna burger right there, the head honcho, the triune, hence the 3 wings. And if I even started breaking down the number, the symbolism coded in here, that's why, like I said, this is a watercolor done by a Burmese artist from Myanmar. But going back to this, and I'll finish with that, it is definitely my masterpiece. Priceless, not for sale, and it ultimately explains life right there. The duality of it all, the perfect cycle of it all, and its necessity in its existence of itself. Because what people don't understand, and I'm realizing this more and more, is that things are the way they are, and they will continue to be the way they have been for millennia. And so when I've come full circle, I can truly say I've come full circle, where I know now that the things that I realize ultimately are important to my existence in the short span of time that was allocated to me to accomplish something. My experience ultimately is based entirely on my actions and the input that I put into the world around me, right? So if I've concluded that my actions must be with the intent to enhance humanity, to usher in heaven on earth for the benefit of all, right? Because it is the way. I mean, I don't have to choose that path, but that is the path that I've chosen. So, and in that process of discovering the truth of the truth of the truth, ultimately there is really the truth that I want to live by and apply in my existence. There is a truth. The truth. The truth is the truth. It will never be a lie. And haters gonna hate and lovers gonna love no matter which way you go. So in that understanding that everything that is there for a specific reason, and ultimately to test your own, to guide you, to direct you in your existence. What you learn today that you apply with for the rest of your life was given to you today to do so, which is why you do it. And one day perhaps you wake up and you realize, hey, all those opportunities that were there that I didn't take, why did I not take them, right? And you understand it's because you were ultimately programmed from birth to not take those opportunities. Right? The first in the the very first collage that I ever did, randomly just started ripping up some newspapers, putting them down. I had a landscape in mind. So the landscape is basically, where is it? The other way. Could it be? Anyways, yeah, there it is. So that and these were created simultaneously, and along the way it turned out that basically these are the 4 stages of mankind. And at that time I still believed that putting a spaceman on top had any validity or reference in reality, but it doesn't matter, because at the time that was very valuable. That was valid, right? And that's the thing. Everything is valid in its time until it no longer is, and you apply it to your constant changing existence as variables are thrown in the mix, which they inevitably are, but most people are, to use the proverbial, asleep to these things that are in plain sight, right? Ultimately, the answer must be in the attempt to know, the attempt to seek, the attempt to love, the attempt to create, the attempt to. And that's just half of the spectrum. The other half is every other negative imaginable thing you could possibly imagine, right? The most evil of evil. Guess what? If you ain't thinking about it, it's because you ain't that evil. You can't think about it. But there's some evil shit out there, you know? And being ignorant to it and asleep to it is not an excuse. Not only is it not an excuse, but like I always say, it behooves you as a human being to look into these things, okay? So, I'm gonna wrap this up. I think I've babbled on long enough. Let's see. This is a favorite of mine that is also incomplete. What is this one called? I think this one is called... Oh, what is this one called? Vague formidable. Yeah.
It's just another day to find I haven't seen the things I'm always trying. I'm blind.
Good stuff. Well, thank you. Thank you for tuning in again and again and again. Let's see if there's any shout outs I can give to on look at that. I'll end with that as a visual. So some really good screen captures I could take from this. That's why I do it, by the way, so later on I can be like, screen capture, screen capture. Yes, I do it for me. I'm blind. All right, okay, so I think somebody left a message here that I wanted to. Hold on. Big shout outs to Operation Chaos. Operation Chaos. What's up, brother? Thanks for watching. This one's dedicated to you. Let's do a quick my internet is so weak here. Oh, we got a 93, which is a 39, which is a 36, which is a 666 code. So big shout out, followed by a 66 code down below. You know how to figure it out. From me, Established 1983 lives. Muchas gracias, obrigado. Até a próxima. Tchau, Nana. Bye-bye.